Impulse spending killer. What the heck is that? Sharon Hornelson here. Welcome to day 76 of our Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. Today we're talking about a tool that I discovered a long, long time ago, which has saved me much regret in impulse purchases. Now, it isn't always true that I was good at saying no to impulse purchases. Sometimes I was quite the shopper and quite the purchaser of solutions way back in the day before the internet even existed. But now with the internet, it's even more important to stealth yourself because all of the scarcity, mostly fake scarcity created by marketers in the realm, and just the quantity of offers that are thrown at us every single day. Today, I want to talk about that. I'm going to share the one rule that I use to prevent impulse spending for me and for our organization, our businesses, as well as the lifeline exercise. I want to talk about that. And I challenge you to use the lifeline exercise over the course of your business's life to say, what has the impact of impulse spending been on our financial health and well-being as an organization? So what the heck is this rule? Why do we need it? Well, have you ever bought anything that you immediately regretted or within the first 24 hours of your purchase regretted? I sure have. I remember back when I was just getting rolling in the Italian food manufacturing business, and we didn't have a website. And everybody was saying, you got to have a website, you got to have a website. It was the beginning of the internet and kind of at that dicey time where you're not sure if it's going to stay a thing and really be a thing and become a way to promote and share your business. So I was nervous and I didn't have the time or the energy. I had little kids at the time to actually dive in, figure it out, and try to figure it all out myself. So of course I got this shiny object syndrome flyer in the mail, or I can't remember if it was a flyer. I think it was one of these postcard flyers. And it said, come to this free training, this free seminar, and learn about how to create a website for your business, in less than a week or something, which was mind-boggling back then because most people barely even had PCs or computers. Nobody had cell phones. They were still huge. We were still using pagers. So I went to this seminar, got sold, got to decide before you leave the seminar for $6,000. And of course, I laid down my $6,000 and never had the time to do anything with it, because what they promised in the seminar, they went around and hired these super slick, amazing speakers and motivational speakers that know all the buttons to push to get you to say yes and fall for the I gotta buy it now and make my decision now sense of urgency before actually leaving, thinking about it, and making a rational choice to say okay and investigate to find out if it was something that would actually help me create a website, which it was not. I did actually try it, so I can't beat myself up too much for that, but I definitely regretted it because it was, in the early days, and dropping $6,000 on something that never delivered on its promises was super duper frustrating to me. And I don't remember who I learned it from. Could have been a mentor, could have been a friend, but they said, listen, anything over $500 in your business, stop and actually give yourself, set a timer on your phone nowadays because we have those, but think about the pluses and the minuses, the pros and cons of the thing. Go home, do some research. Nowadays with the internet, it's, research is at our fingertips, all of our fingertips. It's usually in our pocket with our cell phone, right? So do some research and find out if it is really the right thing for you. And if you still decide you want it in 24 hours, then the answer can be yes, but don't immediately buy something. The vast majority of people that get buyer's remorse feel it within the first day, but it's usually gone too long, and then they're too embarrassed or shamed into thinking that they can ask for a refund or change their mind. I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of my life changing my mind and making different choices and different decisions. So 24-hour rule. Anything over $500, wait for 24 hours. It's easier in our businesses because I just make that a rule and a guideline in our businesses. Anything over $500 needs approval, manager approval, and your manager is always going to sit on it for 24 hours and let you think about it and let you have a chance to come back and say, never mind, right? Which is a great training for developing your people and teaching them personal responsibility, teaching them leadership, etc. So that is the 24-hour rule. Delayed gratification, we all have a different tolerance for waiting, right? I am not known as a waiter for what I want or a patient person in any way, shape, or form. But I've learned that it is a lot more fun to say no right now to something. It's why I don't really do much online shopping, because I know that I would regret, because I would go crazy. There's so many things available that we absolutely positively don't need. Sometimes we don't even want them. How many people have a piece of used restaurant equipment? Oh boy, that's a blast from the past. Used exercise equipment in their home or their garage or their storage unit collecting dust because you got it and you never actually used it. And after you got tired of looking at it because it made you feel guilty every time you saw it and you didn't jump on it and use it. Many of us, right? I actually use my bike. All right. So what's this lifeline exercise? And how might that help us look at our impulse purchases over time? It's a great way to look at financial health and well-being. You can do it on a personal level, but look at your business. Does your business go for, because somebody gets all excited about it in the organization, every little shiny object syndrome that comes down the pipe? And some of those to the tunes of, depending on the size of your organization, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you're not getting your return on investment, which is the first question I ask about anything for the businesses, which is why don't I do that in my personal life, which I do now. But it's a great question. I'm not going to do it. If it, my gold standard question now isn't even 24 hours. I decide immediately. And if it doesn't matter what the price tag is. If it aligns with my core values and goals and what I'm trying to achieve and it helps me do it faster, I will say yes. If it does not align with my core values, my goals, I still want to do my homework usually on things though. All right. What's a lifeline? Lifeline is like those timelines in history class where we looked at events leading up to a big event in history. Well, we should do this with our own life. If you've never done it, it's a really fun and enlightening exercise. And we do it this year on all the different 9 areas and aspects of nine different areas and aspects of our life framework. And this month we're going to do it for finance. We're going to say, okay, these are the events, the big events that happened in my life. And they don't even have to be big. They just have to have been big to you, impacted you in a larger than normal way to be big for you. You know, sometimes people, even strangers, will say something to us and it has a huge impact on us. I've got experiences like that in my life, both positive and negative. And we get to decide what they mean and how they impact the different areas and aspects of our life. But whether we acknowledge them or not, or are aware of them or not, they are impacting our choices and our decisions. And it might be our impulse buys. Sometimes we get our feelings hurt and we're like, I'm going to go buy something to make me feel better. So you feel better instantly. And then it's on the couch. They're on the couch. Sorry, excuse me. So the lifeline exercise helps us to look at that. All right. That's what we're doing today. 24-hour rule. I challenge you to wait 24 hours, say no to everything for 24 hours, and make people prove to you that it's worth the thing that they're asking for. No matter what it is, they can wait 24 hours. All right. Any questions? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.